roam to these other lanes. Benjamin Zipper, once he's unlocked, he's someone we've seen in every game so far just take over. As soon as that tower goes down, even before it sometimes, he's just moving with GDI, just causing chaos from the enemy side. And I'm hoping that these teams are looking at it and they're trying to find these windows. They're trying to find these niches that they do, just these habits, because there's habits in everybody's gameplay. And this team, though undefeated, I do think still can be challenged by some of these other teams. And just with a little bit of research, definitely, we can see these games start to get more competitive and eventually see the uncle and the nephews drop a game.
Yeah, no, I mean, and another thing is, when you're going up when you're going up against a team that is undefeated, it can be, a lot of nerves going in. You automatically, you're gonna want to be playing on the defensive. But I do want to see people try to make some early game plays. I mean, if GDI and Champagne Shower in the bot lane, if they're taking drag, I want to see the other team try to make a play up top. I want to see them grab Rift. I want to see the map split and just try to at least make up for some of these deficits that Uncle T and the Nefs have been able to create in order to get a gold lead early. So, I mean, it'll be really interesting to see, if they get challenged. And it's just going to have to be, they're going to have to play it just like it's a normal game. They can't let the 4-0 get in their head.
Exactly. And switching gears a little bit here to our first game, looking at the double Umacorns going up against the Bois. The Bois are a team, 3-1. Their only loss right now is against Uncle and the Nephews. Looking really strong, but a very tried and true style. And I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it's going to be something that's going to hurt them going forward because, like you're saying, we're in week 3. You've seen 4 games out of this team. Are you going to start challenging these picks? Are you going to start really challenging them in the draft phase to where they are getting away with this style? And, much like Uncle and the Nephews, but in my opinion, I think at a less versatile just a less versatile display that we've seen from them. It's the same idea, but it's also the same champions. Whereas with Uncle and the Nephews, we've seen the same idea, but played around these different picks. We've seen things like the Udyr, the Lucian, so on and so forth, the Lulu band out, and them still be able to deliver on that. So on this back half of the season, I'm really curious to see if the boys will get challenged in the draft and if they will have the same adaptability and versatility as we've seen out of Uncle and the Nephews.
Yeah, no, I think taking Black Wando off of the Galio, I mean, obviously that's your first step. The man's a monster on Galio. It's his comfort pick. It offers just so much global presence and engage as well as CC. And then, like we talked about last week a lot, Z. I mean, get me out in the mid lane. He is just a rock for his team. We were talking about all of his picks: the Victor, the Azir, the Orianna. I mean, just being able to wave clear and stall for your team if you get behind. I mean, we saw them take Uncle T and the Nefs to a 40-minute plus game, and I feel like a major part of that was the picks that Get Me Out has in the mid lane and just being able to stall and then just look for one banger team fight that is gonna, put the enemy team on their back heels.
Yeah, and it's something that we've seen, week after week after week, but something that we haven't seen week after week is the double Umacorns with a full lineup. No substitutions coming in today. A team that has been able to put in this time, before the start of this ULS season, one of the big strengths that this team had was the synergy, was how much they have played together. And a team like Uncle and the Nephews has that. That's something that we credit a lot of their success to, their ability to play as 5. So now with this 5, with this team that's, should be in that same category of like synergy wise, these guys should be up there with Uncle and the Nephews. How do you think they'll fare today against the boys? Even if we're not getting exploited in the drafting phase, I think that it's still going to be something that is going to really hit home for the double Umacorns. It's going to be one of the first times, even if you give them the same draft, that all right, how do you guys look playing as 5? Because we've seen how they look playing as a 4 with the sub, playing with a 3 is with 2 subs. But how is this team going to look playing as a 5-man?
Yeah, I mean, Z, I think Uncle T and the Nefs in first place. I mean, I think we can definitively say So far, they're the best team. Dino Nuggies 0-4. Definitively, I think we can say they are the weakest team in this league. But I mean, the boys and Double Umacorns, like we don't know who is the second strongest team yet. Double Umacorns, they haven't really had the best luck with their roster, like you said, and I think it's going to be a really a big game for them this week to see if they can bring it back against the boys. And the boys, once again, I mean, they're thought to be the only people who can challenge Uncle T in the Nefs. But I mean, if Double Umacorns come in and pull off, I don't know if I'd call it an upset, but I mean, if they come in and beat the boys, I mean, we could just about see anything from here on out.
Yeah, that would be absolutely massive, especially for the standings. Giving
Yeah.
Uncle and the nephew some breathing room, but giving Double Umacorns that chance to really punch up and work their way up in the standings and really make teams start to put them on notice. One win right now sitting in the standings, just that one game above Dino Nuggies. Uh, you, we're on week 3. We're on the back half, but things are still really tight between these teams. There's still a world to where Uncle and the nephews don't lock up first place. There's a world where Dino Nuggies don't end up last. With these last 2 weeks, I think that we could see some variation in the standings, and it's going to come down to how these teams are looking to adjust.
Yeah, no, I definitely think Double Umacorns are stronger than their 1-3 record does show, and I think it's really going to come in to see how well prepped the boys are for this game. If I was the boys, I mean, I honestly, I would be thinking about facing the next time I face Uncle T in the Nefs. I wouldn't be thinking about my other games. So I think it'll be really interesting to see whether how they have prepped for this, if they're ready, and if they are ready to take the Double Umacorn seriously in this game.
Yeah, and I definitely think that this team is coming in taking this seriously. This is a squad that has a lot of history. When I played on the Double Umacorns team, we did a lot of clash stuff. I was primarily ADC for this team. Obese Penguin did move up to the mid lane, but we played the boys all the time, and this was a team that we clashed with constantly, and the games would flip flop. So I think that regardless of the score, these guys, anytime they're going up against each other, are always looking to just absolutely crush the other person. They're not looking at them as an easy opponent, but definitely somebody that they want the bragging rights, if you will.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, starting off, we got a Zir ban and a Fiddlesticks ban. Looks like that Fiddlesticks ban is going to be taken away from Iridescent Poro here. We got a Zir buffs as well this week, so it looks like they're going to ban that as well as the Victor. Looks like they're definitely trying to get me out and Iridescent Poro off their comfort picks here.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Oh,
the first
draw
3
ban.
bans on the side of the boys, all jungle picks, and just something that we've put to Frost Unbreakable. While he only played last week as his first week, it was the Double Umacorns' first week getting a win, but they also went 1-1, dropping that second game against Uncle and the nephews. But Frost Unbreakable still very strong, and grabbing himself an early pick like the Volibear is just going to enable him to really get this early game going.
Yeah, I mean, right before this, I played 2 solo queue games with Frost Unbreakable, and I mean, he played Sejuani and Morgana, so I mean, you can tell that they did their homework. Frost Unbreakable, he's a really good player. He played really well in those games. I mean, he is in form. He was asking me for tips, asking how we can do better. I mean, he's hungry to learn, so I mean, I think he's going to come out of this game firing off all cylinders.
Yeah, and surprisingly enough, there's Black Wando getting his Galio again, and it looks like we will see Iridescent Poro on this Rumble jungle. I'm not too sure, as I haven't gone through the entire patch breakdown, but I'm fairly positive that Rumble did catch a nerf this patch.
Yeah, his overheat damage to monsters got nerfed. I think his clear speed is still going to be really strong. Obviously, that ult cooldown is still as low as ever, but he's not going to be able to clear quite as quick as he used to, but I think it's still a really strong pick.
Yeah,
And we got Leona nerfs this patch as well. Her W damage got nerfed, so that bot lane's going to be struggling a little more than it would early.
Oh yeah, definitely something that will be kept track of over the course of this game. Mythos, remember, was the top laner, did move down to the support role, and played the Leona last week and looked really good on the Leona. Definitely looked like he was fairly proficient at piloting the champion, so that move already panning out, as it will be the Ashe. And Galio Ashe is something we saw out of them last week. Mr. Action struggling to connect on some of these enchanted crystal arrows, but the lane does what you're drafting it to do. The survivability here and the amount of disengage is just so massive. as the Samir ban comes through. Leona Samir is still just a very scary lane.
Yeah, it looks like they're banning the Tristana as well. I think they were thinking maybe they'd have a Tristana mid just since the Ashe is showing. Get Me Out traditionally doesn't really play more aggressive like AD champions in the mid lane, but you know maybe they know something that we don't here. And also, I mean, double Umacorns, that is a beefy 3-first pick Z. And I mean, the Ashe is going to have to, you know, get really ahead to be able to break that front line.
Yeah, and we might see something like the Gale Force come out just for the avoidability, but I look at this and Kraken Slayer's, you know, just as strong. I think Ashe with her just auto slows on her auto attacks, I think you're gonna have to bank on that being enough and just try to kite with that, do your best of your ability, because without Kraken Slayer, this team is going to be so hard to get through, as it looks like Dick Long will not be piloting the Cho'Gath today. That ban will come through as well.
Yeah, no, I would not be surprised if they picked a top lane champion here just to give Get Me Out the last counter pick. Laning into Sion, I mean, you could just do about anything. Sion's really not a very lane dominant champion. He sort of just clears the wave and scales up and just waits till he gets that Bramble Vest to become unkillable. And it looks like we're getting the Ornn here. So that is going to be an island top lane Z. I don't think there's going to be much happening top this game.
Yeah, and locking in the Jhin here, you know, Jhin, decent pick, but after seeing the Ornn, after seeing the Gallia, will be a little hard to get through some of these tanks. He does struggle a bit, and the Aurelion Sol Hover, just a little BM coming out of Artie. Not a champion I would expect him to play.
I want to see that Artie Irelia, man.
Yeah, I want to see something spicy coming out of him, but they are in need of some AP, and it looks like he will lock in the Katarina. Another one of our aggressive players in the league, Artie. Definitely going to be looking to stir something up, but Get Me Out. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking Orianna perhaps, just because we've seen him run so many control mages, and this is the style that he typically plays, and it will actually be the Lucian.
Okay.
I like this switch. I like this.
Yeah, I like this as well. I mean, I don't think that they're ready for this at all. I mean, Lucian as well. I mean, Lucian and Ashe, they're going to have to go second item Lord Doms, or else they are trolling Z, I'm telling you. I wouldn't be surprised if we had a double Kraken Slayer as well. I mean, we could see the Gale Force, like you said, just because that Gale Force will make it so you can dodge the Volley ult, dodge the Leona ult, the Leona E, for that extra mobility. I mean, Lucian already has a dash, but I mean, if Ashe gets hit by any of this CC, she is dead in the water. I also wouldn't be surprised if we saw a cleanse in the bot lane as well, just because that Leona, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff you can do this game, a lot of different answers you can have for these tank picks, but I mean, it is going to be tough for them to break that front line.
Alright, and it looks like, sorry, league officials had to take a second to really look into this. It looks like double Umacorns making a mistake in the draft select, but unfortunately, just not locking in the right champion is not, excuse me, if you lock in the wrong champion, that's a mistake on the team, so unfortunately, that won't be a remake for that. So we already played like he's been playing with the Gam and Z. You know, hey, hopefully, Turtle, hopefully. And, yo, shout out to my boy, Lavernius. Good to see you on here, my man. Haven't seen you in a bit, and hope all is well on your end, brother. Much love going your way.
So was that a mistake pick for the Katarina?
Yes. So they actually wanted Diana there, but unfortunately, you know, that's... we can't remake that off of that unless you could prove out that there was a legitimate bug, which is also why I encourage anybody that is competing in this to be, if you're streaming, then definitely stream, because that is something that we would then be able to go back and look into. But otherwise, we couldn't remake just off of a misstep in the champion select.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of whether he picked Diana or Katarina, I mean, that's still going to be a rough lane into the Lucian. Lucian's biggest thing is just being aggressive early, getting those light slingers off, and just making sure you can poke with your Q through the minions. And I mean, if Katarina does get going, you know, it could be a slippery slope, but I would not be surprised to see Get Me Out control this lane from minute one.
Yeah, this Lucian just such an absolute monster in the early game for just really being able to push in and Katarina, melee, whether it was Katarina or Diana, you would have run into the same problems here with these melee champions. Lucian just able to kite back so well. It will really depend on how Artie is able to play the level 2, level 3. Because at this point, you will be able to look for the all-ins. You could have Frost come around. This Lucian does have his dash, but very susceptible to ganks if you're caught pushing lane too far. And I think it's going to come down to just how we see these guys play it out and how prepared they are to deal with something like this. Because, like we were saying, get me out. Primarily a control mage player, but perhaps seeing Uncle Tizzy or Benjamin Zipper just absolutely dumpstering on these different picks just on the second half, ready to show that he's able to play a lot more than just the Azirs, your Orianas, and your Victors.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it's going to be really interesting to see as well with the Katarina. I mean, you got the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, you got the Galio Taunt, and I mean, you got the Ornhorn, and that's R2 for the Ornhorn. So, I mean, there's not much that you can consistently stop this Katarina's ult with. So, I mean, if Artie gets the middle of their team with that front line, I mean, it's their team fight, I feel like, is extremely strong. And I think one of the win cons that they're going to have to deal with is, stopping that Katarina ult before he gets off too much damage.
Yeah, definitely something that's going to have to be tracked over the course of these fights, because something that we've seen the boys do is lean towards these tankier comps, lean towards these comps that, they have 3 just absolute beast engagers. But in this game, going with the Rumble, with the Ashe, and then now the Lucian, this is actually the most vulnerable draft we've seen out of them in a situation where Artie on this Katarina could absolutely pop off.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be really interesting to see. I mean, like we talked about earlier, this top lane is going to just be a farm fest, I would believe. Maybe we'll see them, slapping each other, but I think it's going to be a wet noodle fight in the top. Bot lane, I mean, I don't think there's really much to say here. It's sort of a skill match, but I think Ashe outranges Jhin a little bit, especially with the W. But I mean, if we see an all-in from the Leona and Mr. Action doesn't use his cleanse well, I mean, it could be a pretty exciting bot lane as well. But I do think if I was the junglers, I would try to, get one of my mid laners ahead this game.
Yeah, and it looks like it will just be some defense coming out from the side of the boys. Double Umacorns definitely known for their aggression level 1, and they should be able to catch them out here. Already trailing a little bit means that this will be a... they actually wait for...
Oh man, they're not even going to see each other.
They might just go back around. Dropping a ward on the blue buff will be enough for this trip here. No.
Oh man, Z, that could have been a little intense. But yeah, no, I mean, we got double Umacorns. They do have vision on the blue buff. It looks like Frost Unbreakable is going to start as red. So we're both going to get traditional bot side starts.
Yeah, and really, just to change up its style that we've seen coming out of double Umacorns. I feel like that is something in the beginning of the season we would have seen them absolutely force and just make things happen. But similar bot side start. Frost Unbreakable will have information on this, but I imagine both will just do a quick path to the top side. Iridescent Poro.
You just have to think, I mean, Iridescent Poro, I mean, he started Q on that Rumble jungle, and that is not what you're supposed to start. So you start a W, and you get it spamming up so you get overheated, and I mean, he had to smite blue buff there, so I mean, his clear is definitely not going to be as strong as Rumble could be.
Yeah.
You have to think, how comfortable is he on this champion if, if he has a start like that? Not very traditional.
Right, and remember, as we were talking in the pregame, like, this is post-nerf Rumble, so exactly. Already slowed down with that overheat damage. If you're mishandling the overheat in the beginning of the game, then this Volibear will just outpace you, especially with this Rumble going for the full clear. Black Londo going in for the level 2. He will get the taunt off on Mythos. We'll just proc the Aftershock and reduce that damage.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, the boys there had a level 2 advantage, but I mean, it's pretty safe with the Leona if she starts Q. I mean, if you just go on Leona, she Qs you, she gets the Aftershock, and I mean, you're going to have a lot more damage than they did to do anything here.
Yeah, and I mean, interesting enough, the Ashe did go the cleanse, just looking for some more survivability in this lane. Worried about the Leona all in. Yeah, just, really, really well done. And with that cleanse, I would hope that we see the Kraken Slayer come out as opposed to the Gale Force. I think the Gale Force in this game just, well, it'll give you some benefit, especially while you're running the cleanse. I think between your passive and the cleanse, it's more than enough reason to feel comfortable to just sit on the Kraken Slayer. As Frost Unbreakable will get chased off of the Scuttle here, smites it for some health, already roaming up, but pretty low, does have to flash the wall.
Man, I mean, that was a close one. I really think the boys win that 2v2 every day of the week, especially with Katarina, how low she is, and you got Frost Unbreakable and Iridescent Poro fighting over top Scuttle here.
Yeah, and as this top Scuttle fight might get a little hairy here, as the Scuttle is picked up by Frost Unbreakable, but he just wants to get out, flashes the wall, and World War II Penguin flashes right over. That's 2 flashes for Scuttle. As Mythos is getting chased down here, he's going to have to flash, but it looks like Frost Unbreakable might just get caught out here. Iridescent Poro goes into his jungle and finds the kill.
Oh, man, you just have to think Frost Unbreakable there. He blew the flash. I mean, he did not know where Rumble is. I mean, that was a very greedy play by him. We'll have to see what advantage. I mean, thank God his blue side isn't up, or else Rumble would have had a huge lead there.
Oh man, and Obese Penguin has no sums up. Mr. Action should just be able to stay on him, and that is a kill going down. Black Wando picks it up. Mythos did not have to burn the flash before, still has it if he needs it. Will not get chased under his turret, but already 2 quick kills going over to the side of the boys.
Oh man, Z, I mean, I can't tell you how many times that I'm fighting against Nash in the bot lane, and you just do not anticipate how brutal that Q slow damage is. I mean, you can't walk out of it. I mean, if you don't have summoners, I mean, you are just dead in the water just because she can auto attack you free all the way to the turret.
Oh man, and it looks like just violence on all sides of the map right now, as Dicklong just absolutely having his way with World War II Penguin in the top side. So just ignoring the kills right now, the really tough thing for this team is they are getting outpaced in every lane as Frost Unbreakable is looking for a play in the bot side, but Iridescent Poro is right behind him, and it looks like Dicklong will just solo kill World War II Penguin under tower. Mythos is burning down from Iridescent Poro, and the Black Wando is the real carry in this lane as he picks up the 2nd kill on the backside of that, and it's just looking all bad for the side of the boys.
Man, I mean, the boys are just running a clinic right now, Z. I mean, their early game, I mean, they came to win, and I mean, this Rumble is really putting in the work on all sides of the map. As well as the solo kill on the Ornn on top, I was not expecting that. I was thinking this was going to be a farm lane. I mean, it's just, I'm really surprised at how well they're pushing their lead right now.
Yeah, something to track there is, you know, definitely in that lane, you should not see much going on there. Is Get Me Out just getting a great trade-off on Artie, and Artie not being able to farm. Already down 24 CS, down 4 waves of minions. And
yeah,
just...
I mean, this Lucian pick is really panning out for Get Me Out here, and I mean, he does still have his ult back up, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he looked for a solo kill here. He's got a wave stack in. Jungler is hovering topside on the enemy team, so I mean, he could totally look for something here.
Yeah, this is getting really scary for the side of double Umacorns right away.
Oh, we got level 6 advantage on top as well.
Oh, and Artie Shunpo's out, able to get out with just his life, but this lead is just growing in the mid lane, and Frost Unbreakable here to pick up some of the minions that Artie will miss on this back. Already burned the teleport, but this Lucian just looking amazing, and Get Me Out looking incredible on something other than a control mage.
Oh yeah, I mean, he really is, and I mean, you can tell he's been practicing this. One thing I am surprised though is that we got to fight in the top lane here.
Yeah, and Dicklong getting a nice trade-off here. I did not think it was going to pan out too much, as, you know, you get off your full rotation, not much goes down, but actually some decent trading going on here. Gets Dicklong down to about half of his health, Scion healing up on the backside of that.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on the summoner spell choice by Get Me Out. On Lucian, he took the heal, which I think is really interesting, just because you do have so much kill threat in the mid lane, especially since the Katarina. I mean, you can just bully her around early, and I mean, I think if he had Ignite there, Z, that was a solo kill.
Yeah, definitely something that, I mean, it was so close already. Katarina Shunpo just saving him, able to get away from that minion on the backside, but Katarina is moving towards his bot side, and so is Frost Unbreakable. We got to see if something pans out here, but, you know, Ping's already going down, missing in the mid lane, this bot lane, looking to play a little safer, but he might walk right up onto Artie. Katarina does not have much CC on her own, and he just engages on her. It doesn't look like much will go down, but the E does land, and the
Must
tower
have
is
died.
disabled. It looks like Mr. Action will just fall, and that is Obese Penguin picking up the first kill for double Umacorns.
Oh, yeah, I mean, Frost Unbreakable there. He picked up red buff, he got the 6, and he said, hey, Artie, come bot, we are diving. And, I mean, I think that Black Wando, I mean, he did his best there. I mean, you can tell he's very comfortable on this Galio, and, I mean, he tried to stop the engage, but, I mean, once you get a volley bear on the turret Z, I mean, it's pretty hard to escape that.
Yeah, and just tough for the Ashe. It looks like from the time that she died, that cleanse is coming up 15 seconds. Just so close and so well timed on the side of the boys, but you know, something that we talked about at the top of the day, looking for things on the other side of the map. They get that kill bot, and you just keep snowballing this lead. You pick up the Rift Herald. As Artie does Shunpo forward, takes a lot of damage on the backside of that.
Oh, yeah, I mean, these trades are not good. I think Artie just has to, you know, he just has to give a couple minions, wait for that wave to push into turret. But, I mean, I think Get Me Out, honestly, Z, I think Get Me Out could be playing more aggressive in this lane. Oh, here we go.
Oh, absolutely, and Artie going in, drops the equalizer, but able to Shunpo out of that. The Colin just out of range, but that will mean that Artie does have to base. No TP means that this has to be some plays. Remember, they did just pick up the Rift Herald, so this just might be first tower unless Frost Unbreakable is able to dissuade this.
Oh, yeah, I mean, getting that Lucian even more ahead with the first turret gold would be huge for them. He's already got the Noon Quiver, and I mean, if they got first turret here and picked up another kill, I mean, he would already have his Mythic here. And it looks like there's someone in the Rift Herald in mid. So yeah, looks like this turret's gonna fall.
Yeah, this is gonna be pretty close. It will just barely stay alive. That last plate's so hard to get through.
Jeez, yeah, I mean, it's gonna be really interesting to see how much gold Lucian has on his back here. I mean, this Katarina as well. Looks like she's rushing Blade of the Rune King or Nashers. I'm not sure what components that he's going. The thing about Katarina is that there's a lot of different builds going around. You can go AP, you can go AD, you can go mixed. So I think it's really, I wouldn't be surprised if it was AP though. But I mean, it's going to be hard for them to come back into this just because the boys seem to have such a grip on the early game here. 4K gold lead at 10 minutes.
Yeah, they're playing it very well, and shout out to my boy C. Brooker in the chat. Thanks for pulling up, my man. And you already know I'm always repping my boys whenever I get the chances. Dick Long looking for a little bit of trading here in the top side, but it looks like World War II Penguin, actually for the last little bit, has been getting the better side of some of these trades, and it looks like they might have the bot lane caught out here. The Leona ulti does drop right into the flash of Mr. Action. Mr. Action able to get out in the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, able to knock up Artie, and Artie will just have to back off of that. Frost Unbreakable trying to do what he can, misses the stun, actually stuns the minion. The Colin will not be enough, tries to flash to get the last bit of damage, but will not be enough. Frost Unbreakable able to get out with his life, and just Action going all over the map right now.
Oh man, Z, double Umacorns are not ready to fall over quite yet. I mean, they want all the smoke in bot lane. I think they're really trying to play off this Leona ult as much as they can. And I mean, Mr. Action there, he flashed right into the ult, but I mean, thank God for that cleanse. If he didn't have the cleanse there, I think that might have been a double kill on the side of double Umacorns.
Yeah, you got to remember, with the Katarina passive, those resets would have been absolutely massive. Frost Unbreakable looking to make something happen here, but oh, actually 4v2 as Artie just goes down in the beginning of that, but Obese Penguin is able to pick up Get Me Out on the backside of that. Iridescent able to back out, and here comes Black Wando landing the big top, and Mythos able to flash out of that one, but the Wings of War just might be enough to take him down. Dick Long trying to do what he can, flashes under tower, but the W root will miss, and Frost Unbreakable able to pick up that kill. Mr. Action is there, but just too late. And that is 2-1 going over the side of double Umacorns. They fight their way back into this game.
Oh man, Z, Get Me Out there. I mean, he blew all of his cooldowns there. I'm really surprised they look for a fight. I mean, they're probably just a little overconfident just because, you know, they did have that huge lead here. And looks like we're getting a fight around Dragon.
And Black Wando will be able to taunt up. Frost Unbreakable, the Ash Slow will go down. And Black Wando says, I'm the carry this game with his third kill, 3-0-1 on this Galio. Plated steel caps never looked so good on a support.
Man, this Galio pick is really panning out for him. And I mean, I was saying it before the game. I mean, this guy knows his Galio, and I mean, that CC and the knock-up and just the taunt from his W just gives him so much time for the rest of his team to layer out their damage and really punish Frost Unbreakable for stepping up there with no flash.
Yeah, and you know, just maybe a little bit too aggressive, as we've seen teams kind of adapt to this style where Frost Unbreakable was running rampant in the league. it was a lot based on his ability to just push the issue and push all of this pressure onto the enemy junglers and onto the enemy laners, and it seems like people have gotten used to this style of play and they've figured out how to exploit it. And as Chad is pointing out, you know, this mid lane CS difference absolutely massive right now, just under or just a little over this 60 CS lead, just 5 CS short, 6 CS now with a 70 CS lead. And the Flame Horizon is just around the corner, and they are bleeding gold in this mid lane right now.
Yeah, I know. I mean, Get Me Out has been controlling this lane from the get-go. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised next time he goes back, we'll get to see which mythic he picks up. I mean, honestly, at this point, Z, he might not even need Kraken Slayer. He might just go for the aggressive Gale Force, try to get some more solo kills going. I mean, I think if he goes Lord Dom second, I don't really think you need Kraken Slayer on Lucian. I think he can push his lead if he goes Kraken here. Or, I'm sorry, if he goes Gale Force here.
Yeah, I think the Gale Force would be a much better buy here, just with how things are shaking out for him in this early game. You know, 2-level lead already on this Katarina. Can't even step up as Frost Unbreakable does pop. The Chem Tank will slow him down. CC'd up, and that's a pickup coming over from the side of Artie. And Artie, you know, though down this CS, able to pick up that kill on Lucian, and now a chance for him to farm up. Now a chance for him to get back in, as Dicklong might have stepped a little too forward. World War II Penguin, after that solo kill, has just been looking like a whole different animal on this Scion, getting the better of these trades every time. Doesn't even have the mythic done, while Dicklong does.
Yeah, I mean, Get Me Out on this Lucian. I mean, he is still playing a squishy 80 carry champion. It doesn't matter how far he is ahead. If Frost Unbreakable comes in, stuns him with the Q, and I mean, I am anti if he gets a Katarina all off. I mean, there's not much Get Me Out can do without Flash.
Yeah, now at this point we need to track where kills have been going, because we're seeing an avenue for double Umacorns to get back in this game. While we were talking about it, and Black Londo has been performing really well on this Galio, 3 kills on that Galio are going to start to hurt now, because those are 3 kills that the Ashe could be having right now. And yes, your Galio will be tanky, as Artie walks right onto Iridescent Poro. Iridescent Poro might be in trouble here, but Artie decides to just back out here. Nothing to be had. Dicklong did have the ultimate up, but with the health advantage in the favor of the Scion, definitely something that the double Umacorns could have looked to turn. As
yeah, I mean,
Equalizer will drop here onto the Rift Herald. It looks like Rift Herald will be picked up, and that is the ulti coming in. Frost Unbreakable, and this just might be Iridescent Poro dropping, shut down. That is a lot of gold going into the pockets of Dicklong on the backside of this fight. There is no damage, and Artie might just walk him down. Look at the shoot bow, look at the resets, and this man, did not pick up the dagger, but enough to pick up Dicklong in the end here. Get Me Out just has to walk away from this fight, as the Enchanted Crystal Arrow comes in a little bit late. Will hit Artie from downtown, call it Dame range, but not enough to turn that fight.
Oh man, Z, I mean, second Rift Herald, I'm just saying, I think the boys should have just given it there. Get Me Out, I mean, he's sitting on gold right now. He has enough money after first turret to get his mythic item. I'm really surprised they tried to contest that there. I mean, a couple plates of a turret after, you know, the plates are already down. I mean, it's not going to make that big of a difference. I think they should just reset. They should have let Lucian get his item, and then they should have fought after he had his mythic.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, it's getting a little scary for the side of the boys. The boys had quite a monstrous gold lead. This gold lead hasn't grown for the last, now almost 10 minutes. You know, they were able to get those kills. They had those plays to where bot side was able to pick up a kill, top side was able to get the solo kill, and they were able to force mid out and keep the CS lead up for Get Me Out. But even with this CS lead still in the mid lane, this is looking tough, and Dicklong, really with this Ornn, it's going to be hitting this level 14, being able to start upgrading the mythics of people on his team. But until then, I feel like the boys need to slow down this game. You know, they're fighting without Get Me Out. They're fighting pushed around us. Already actually disconnected. Oh man,
that's brutal.
Oh man, that really makes you wish we had the ability to chrono break, but we should see a pause here. As we actually don't. Remember, they are able to pause in these games, so really unfortunate. It was called out in all chat, but not picked up on the backside. There it is, the game pause finally coming through. Yeah, they needed to pause that just right away is what that came down to.
Man, that's really unlucky, Z. I mean, I was just about to say we got Artie with the Nashor's tooth, and I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've gone against Katarina's in solo queue. They'll have, 40 CS at 15 minutes. They'll be far behind, but I mean, once they get that one item, Z, I don't think it matters how much farm you have because you can just melt the other team, especially with this double AD carry comp. Um, and I mean, regardless of the CS lead, I mean, he's still keeping up in XP with this Lucian. So I mean, while he's down CS, I mean, he has been soaking this XP in the mid lane, and I think if Artie's internet does come back, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and just stepping away now as we wait for that game to resume. Just kind of brushing over things that we've seen happen. Artie going for this more aggressive pick, thinking that get me out. I mean, rightly so with what he's played so far. Would go to these control mages, but able to switch up this style here and able to, not just put double Umacorns on watch in this game, but put the rest of the league on watch. In that he's got definitely more champions available to him than we have seen for the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, after this week, and we see how well he's been playing on the Lucian, you can't just target ban him on control mages anymore, because I mean, he has a few picks up his sleeve, and I mean, we talked about in the interview last week. We tried to get him to leak some of his strategies, leak some of his picks, and I mean, it looks like this week, he's not afraid anymore to go out of his comfort zone and pick this Lucian mid, which is panning out very well.
Yeah, and just taking a look at some of the other trends that we've seen in this game, looking at things like World War II Penguin performing on this on, it looks like we actually are back into game here. But just as we see a little slapping going down in this top side, World War II Penguin able to get the better of these trades here over and over again on Dick Long, who was able to find that solo kill on him. Is the stability that you were looking for when you drafted this Scion. And, just a early misplay as the boys do look to move down here. And something to note here, this is their third dragon. They are one dragon away from Dragon Soul. That would be just a 23-minute. Good cancel on the charge there from the Ornn with the knockup coming in from the Scion.
Oh man, Z, being at Soul Point at 18 minutes is so brutal for double Umacorns, and it is Ocean Soul to top it all off. And I think, while Ocean Soul isn't as good as it used to be, I think it's really good in two tank comps, just because it does give you a little bit more longevity than you would in these fights. It gives you a lot more sustain, and they are going to need that if they're going to cut through this Scion and this Volibear in these team fights.
And get me out. Does have to be careful. Frost Unbreakable. We'll just see him pathing in that bush. It looks like he's going bot side, and Dick Long whiffs the sad B coming down, and Mythos might have to burn the flash here, taunt it up, and will be able to get away. Mr. Action able to cleanse. Was stunned right up in front of the tower. Oh man, that could have been bad. Obese Penguin does have the curtain call. Might look for the Ash here, and there it goes. The curtains have been dropped, and finding this 4-shot on Mr. Action will be very tough as he will be CC'd up. Mythos running back in, but you've already used your flash. Frost Unbreakable, they are just going too far for a 0-1-6 Ash. This Ash is not worth you sacrificing 2 kills for that, and maybe just a little bit of miscommunication in the comms, and maybe just, the pause, unfortunately, kind of getting the better of double Umacorns here, as that just looked like a lapse in judgment.
Man, you cannot step up to Black Wando on this Galio because he will punish you. I mean, this man knows what his champion can do. He knows how much CC he has. And what a cleanse from Mr. Action as well. This cleanse now, I mean, if he didn't have cleanse and he took heal, Z, I'm telling you, I think this would be a lot different game.
Iridescent Poro does not have the equalizer, but he might not need it. It caught just by the edge of the taunt. Black Wando has to be taken off of this Galio. This man is styling 6-0-2.
Man, that is just, he is taking over the game, Z. And I mean, I don't know what else to say. I mean, this man is a problem. I mean, you just need to get him off this Galio. I mean, we've seen what he can do on it, and we got to fight in the mid lane.
Yeah, here. And it looks like they're trying to catch out Black Wando here. Remember, 6 kills, but Obese Penguin hit by the enchanted crystal arrow, and he will just go down. Just get me out. Just get the style around him, and Black Wando coming in on Frost Unbreakable. Frost Unbreakable does not have to flash, and Mr. Action already on him with the Ash. These slows means he's not getting away. The taunt up, and Mr. Action finds his first kill of the game. Black Wando can be a benevolent god.
Oh man, I mean they thought they had Black Wando caught out there, and I mean if it wasn't a 6-0 Galio Z, I think he was caught out there, but they
Oh
just do
man, and
not
now
have
World
the
War II
damage.
Penguin caught out here. The Lucian able to just smelt him down, picking up the blue buff on the
Ooh.
way out, and Dick Long finding that kill with the ultimate.
Man, they are just bleeding the rest of the map, and I mean I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to do Baron here, honestly. Z, yeah, look, I mean they got a bunch of gold though, but I mean Baron's next on their plate here.
Yeah, and this has just been such a series of unfortunate events, able to really pull back into the game and then just struggling to find, just where they need to be making these engages. I feel like right now they're of the mindset to where they're just going in. They see somebody, they're just going. There's no vision set up, and they're being punished on the backside of it. But the problem is they're making these plays game after plays just again and again, and now this gold lead, which was closing, was sitting at this 3K, ballooned out to this now 9,000 gold lead, and just going to be very hard for them to stay competitive in this.
Yeah, I mean, Z, I mean, if you look at items here, I mean, you got Lucian with the Kraken Slayer and Lord Doms. You got Ash with the Kraken Slayer and the Runin's Hurricane, and I mean, double Umacorns just don't have the items to fight them right now. I think they just need to take a step back. They just need to give everything here for a second, wait for those tanks to scale up. But I mean, with Baron up and Soul Point coming up here in the next couple minutes, I mean, it's going to be tough for them to stay in this game.
Yeah, we'll have to track how they are able to play it. World War II Penguin able to stay relatively even up here with this Ornn, but remember the Ornn upgrades are now coming through. That is the Frostfire Gauntlet now upgraded for the Ornn. Every level hereafter, he's going to be able to give his team 1,000 gold worth of bonuses on an item that the double Umacorns already down. This 9,000 gold just won't be able to match as the slap wars continue in this top side.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like they're getting low, Z, but I mean, I would be really surprised if we saw a solo kill here. But we'll have to see, because they are going at it. They are mad at each other. They are pissed. They are hitting each other, and we got Soul Point started here at 23 minutes.
Yeah, and we now see World War II Penguin going for this reset here, but will it be fast enough? The curtain call has been opened up. Frost Unbreakable sitting in, will ulti in, able to steal away the dragon, and a great steal means that they will be able to stay alive, but that will cost Frost Unbreakable his life. Beast Penguin thinks he's found Get Me Out, but Get Me Out says, I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me, as Dick Long now looking to just solo down World War II Penguin, already has to try to execute to tower to get away, not execute, picks up a tower on the back side of that play, might be able to get away. The Electric Harpoon slows, will be a little bit massive, and World War II Penguin goes down! Ooh. Dick Long finds a solo kill, already finds the kill on the backside, and that was where it seemed that he was having some internet problems, as we did see in the chat. This game just going absolutely not the way of the side of double Umacorns, but definitely some unfortunate things happening on the side of them. Definitely going to have to figure out just a way that we're able to deal with these in the future. Whether they're quicker pauses, whether it'll be a full game remake, but I mean right now just looking very hard to come back for the side of the double Umacorns.
Yeah, I mean, what a steal from Frost Unbreakable though, Z. I mean, this game I think would have been over if they would have gotten that Soul Point, but I mean, theoretically, I mean, Frost Unbreakable just delayed the game another 5 minutes here. I think if they're able to, wave clear and, stall out this Baron, not give out too much, I mean, they're not still out of this if Hardy comes back.
Right, yeah, and I just feel like, sitting at base now, like, these teams need to be aware that the pause feature does exist for these reasons, and, pauses are just a part of the game. If that's something that we have to deal with, that's something that we will fill the time as needed, but,
yeah, I mean, another interesting thing here, Z, is that, I mean, the reason that Frost Unbreakable was able to steal that was because it is Ocean Soul, and I mean, there's just extra bushes all around the map, and I mean, they didn't even have that part of the bush in the Dragon Pit warded, so I mean, he was just chilling there with ult, just waiting for that smite, and I mean, He does not want this game to be over yet as he's ganking top lane.
Yeah, and this is tough. This Ornn already level 15, and the rest of the team of the boys is on the way. Here comes the Galio ulti. Frost Unbreakable, you are stuck. And this Ashe is autoing minions, styling on him, just letting him know, I don't even need to focus you. As Get Me Out does go on the other side, but is able to pick up the kill onto Obese Penguin. That is a 3-for-1 for the side of the boys. And with Baron buff, they should just be able to push down through this top side. You know, a great play made in the bot side, but you lose 2 of your members on the top side. Get Me Out still able to find a pick on the back side of that, and this is just looking so very hard for the side of the boys, or double Umacorns.
I mean, Z, if I'm the double Umacorns, I am not looking at ganking a level 15 Ornn with 2 items. I mean, especially if you have a Scion and a Volley Bear, that's just, your damage output is just, there's a lot to be desired. But they did get to pick up the kill in the bot lane, so, I mean, at least they're making plays on the other side of the map here.
Yeah, and this just might be the final push here, as, you know, Artie, fortunately dealing with internet problems, just not wanting to hit this pause button. Frost Unbreakable looking to go in, and you know, just another great engage coming in from Black Wando, able to lock up the whole team. Frost Unbreakable trying to stay on to get Mr. Action. Mr. Action finally falls on the backside. Obese Penguin picking up that kill, but a double kill comes through for Iridescent Pour on World War II Penguin. Zombie is fighting his hardest, but he couldn't fight hard enough as Obese Penguin just has to go back to the fountain, try to heal up. Get Me Out, not even here with the team, able to just clean this up, and just really unfortunate circumstances coming out for the double Umacorns. I'm sure not how they were wanting this game to go. As Obese Penguin able to find the outplay and get the shutdown onto Iridescent Poro, put it in the highlights, and really well played from Obese Penguin. And it looks like they want to take their entire base before they end this. Leona able to lock up Black Wando under the tower, is able to get the ulti down on him. The Q stun will come through, and here comes Frost Unbreakable, but Frost Unbreakable does have the ultimate. Another E coming through. Get Me Out is in the area. I don't know if they want to take this fight. Remember, Get Me Out already level 15, and now you have to figure out how you're going up against an 8-0-10 Galio, but with also Get Me Out here. Frost Unbreakable still looking for a little bit more action here as he looks to go in. The shield will come down, but nobody in the area. World War II Penguin in the bot lane right now, just farming, and the Kraken Slayer proc coming through as Frost Unbreakable falls again, a game that he is sure to want to forget.
Oh man, Get Me Out, 7, 3, and 5 on the solution. 3 items, just picked up the Essence Reaver. I mean, it does not matter how tanky you are if you have an upgraded Ornn Kraken Slayer and a Lord Dominic's Regards on this solution. I mean, that is a lot of damage. I don't care how many items you have. I don't care how tanky you are. And, I mean, it looks like they're picking up slow point here as well.
Yeah, and just not able to fight this out just with the volatility of what is going on with the mid lane, and just how much power and how much this gold lead that the boys has. You know, now a 14k gold lead, sitting comfortably almost at this 15k. Mythos has to run away. This Lucian just running into tanks with no fear, and the Ashe arrow connects, and that's an equalizer drop down. World War II Penguin can't even play the game. Prompts the ulti to try to get away, but the Ornn ultimate will pick him up on the backside, and Black Wando says, don't forget about me. Diving into the team and taunting him up, and I am already finding a great kill on the backside, trying to pick up Mr. Action, but Get Me Out will pick that up. Mythos walking away, but remember, that W damage, that W armor has been reduced for Leona. That damage block is not what it used to be, as Get Me Out diving into the rest of the fountain, trying to find another kill on the backside. Obese Penguin does have to burn the Gale Force to get away. And flashing the TSM logo, and Obese Penguin falls, and the gold lead is massive, as shown there, as it looks like the boys will look to close out the game.
Man, I think this is just a statement game for Get Me Out here and the boys, and I mean, they are ready to take on Uncle T and the Nefs. They say, we are the second best team in this league. And, I mean, I think it showed how versatile they are as well. I mean, he's off this control mage, 9, 3, and 8 on the Lucian. Popped off this game. And, I mean, you just have to think, see, I mean, double Umacorns, they have just been plagued with roster issues. They've been, I mean, this game as well is just unlucky. I think it's just a what could have been situation with this team. And it's really sad to see, really unfortunate.
Yeah, and definitely something that's going to put a little pressure on us just to figure out what we're doing when we have situations come through like that. As a spectator, we are on that 3-minute delay, so it's not like we can just go in pause the game as we see fit. So, unfortunately, just in the terms of what we have available to us today for these games and just going forward in this tournament, if you are experiencing issues, if it is taking a client reset, pause the game, get your client fixed during the game. We can fill that time while it's happening. We don't have joy in watching a 4v5 played out. We all play League. We've all been in those games, and this is supposed, like, we don't want games to turn into this. We want, if you have to pause, if you need to run that repair, even if it takes 20 minutes, we can find a way around that, and we will, accommodate these things as necessary. But just
Yeah, I
really
mean,
unfortunate. I would look more towards something like a chrono break or just redraft and then playing a game up and then trying to balance gold out and then starting back from there again. But the problem is the boys just already had such a massive lead going into that. Um, but
yeah.
really
I mean,
unlucky.
if it was close, we could look to do some. But I mean, hey, I mean, in the future, I mean, I haven't talked to Big Z all week. We got a lot of stuff we can talk about.
Yeah.
If you want 10, 15 minutes, hey, me and Big Z can chat it up as much as you guys want, right?
Yeah, exactly, and that is no problem coming from the side of us. And looking at that game, just absolutely monster performance, and seeing if we have anyone from the boys in chat that would be willing to do an interview, as we do have 15 minutes before the next game will be starting. So I will go ahead and shoot message, and I mean, if there's anyone I want to get in here, it's this absolutely popping Galio.
Yeah, I mean, Black Wando with the Gallia. I mean, Z, like I was talking about earlier, I mean, we have seen 3 weeks of games from these people. I mean, I don't think there's any excuse from here on out not to get this man off the Gallia just because, I mean, while you can say get me out, I mean, and their jungler as well, I mean, they made plays, but I mean, this Gallia, I think it was the catalyst for this team's success this game.
Exactly, and it looks like he will be able to be pulled in here. And while we're doing that, let's see. We'll probably just stay on. Oh, wait a minute. We can go to this other scene. Let's see. All right. Sorry, just trying to make sure we can get him in here, nice and easy. Looking from just where that game is, we're waiting for this interview. Waiting for Black Wando to hop in for this interview. I mean, at some point, this Galio is not going to get through anymore, right? Like, there's just, at some point, one of these teams has to draw a line on this Galio actually coming through.
I mean, Z, I'm telling you, next week he's not going to be able to play Gallia. I mean, if anybody's watching, if the team they're playing next week, I'm not sure who it is exactly, but if they're watching, this man is not getting Gallia. I'm sorry, he's just not.
Oh, no.
He's strong.
Yeah, it could not happen. It could not happen. It looks like we do have Black Wando ready to go, so we will pull him in and get ready for that.
I'm ready.
All right. Hey, my man, how are we doing?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Hey, we're doing great. We're doing great, man. I needed to talk to you 100%. We just absolutely lost it after that. Just amazing play. And for everyone at home, we are interviewing Black Wando, who just played on that Galio. And so let's just start it off. How do you feel after that game, man? Because you just absolutely popped off beginning to end of that game. It was all Galio all the time.
Yeah. Well, I stole my ADC's first 3 kills. That felt pretty good. And then I feel like after that, I mean, it just kept building.
Yeah,
Some
I
of
would
those,
have
some
been.
of those, some of those ults were a bit questionable. I was not my map presence wasn't as high as I wanted to be, but it worked out in the end, I think.
Hey man, if I was your ADC and you took my first 3 kills, I'd be flaming you. But I mean, if my support takes a couple kills and carries like you did after that, man, I'm not typing. I'm not saying anything. I'm just gonna let you do your thing. What
Yeah.
a performance! I mean, that's really impressive.
Thank you. Thank you.
So we're
The
on
support Ash isn't bad either, so that helps.
that is true. That is true. Ash definitely carrying her weight even without those kills. But I wanted to ask you, we're on week 3. This is now your guys' 5th game played in the ULS. Congratulations, advancing to 4-1. Still just a game behind Uncle and the Nephews, and if they're able to deliver in their next game, then it's going to be crazy because tomorrow we have that rematch between you guys, and we can definitely get into that a little later. But I wanna ask you what this win means to you guys, and especially how you were able to do it.
Yeah, well, it definitely means a lot to us because this was our first time playing this team with Frost Unbreakable back. So, we really had to play around how much more jungle presence they were going to have. But yeah, I feel like we definitely took care of the business. And I mean, as long as the Galio is still in play, then I mean, why not? I'll pick it.
Yeah, they're
Hey,
not taking it.
Black Wanda, I wanted to
Yeah.
ask you here. I'm looking at your OPGG right now, dude, and
Oh, don't do that. That's
no,
not a
no,
good
hey,
idea.
no, we're not gonna talk about anything.
Okay. Okay.
Galio is not even in your top four most played
Yeah.
champions. But you're spamming him when it actually matters, like in a competitive league. What's up with that? Like, did you play him before the ULS? Like,
I used to play Galio mid like all the time. That was my
uh,
solo duo champion. I did that for the last couple of seasons. But now, like, I don't know. I was nervous this week that Galio wasn't going to be in play, so I was maybe trying to expand my support pool a little bit, test the waters, but that wasn't the case. So I'll just stick with what I'm most comfortable with, and it worked out.
hey, man, if they're not gonna ban it and you keep playing like you have been, I mean, lock that shit in. But I mean, I would not. I mean, I feel bad just because we've talked about it so much on the desk, and I know like all the other teams are listening. So I'm sorry, but I don't think you're gonna be able to play Galio for the rest of the season.
No,
So
no,
I, did.
no. Yeah,
I feel
maybe
bad.
I shouldn't have done it so much in the early games, but we'll see how it goes. I just need my team to draw some bans, and maybe he'll see. Maybe you'll
Yeah.
see him again in the future. We'll see.
Oh yeah. No, I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, just amazing performance, and something I want to ask you. A member of your team that I'm really looking forward to interviewing in the future is Iridescent Poro. Now,
Yeah,
when we played you guys before, that's something I brought up on the desk a lot. Like, we scrimmed against you guys. I mentioned the history between you guys and the double Umacorns, and a player that I'm still not entirely familiar with is Iridescent Poro. And coming into the season, even when I was talking, giving you guys a team breakdown, I wasn't even aware that you guys were making this roster change at the jungle position. And this guy has just been absolutely incredible, in my opinion. One of the big pieces on your team, I was like, hey, when I look at this team, I'm like, get me out, definitely in contention for someone we can look taking home, MVP, first team all, mid first team all pro type deal. And definitely you as well, making a phenomenal case for yourself at this support position for, first team, even MVP ballot. But I just want to ask you about this Iridescent Poro guy. Like, where did you find him? Because he just, we had Alex on last week, and he's talking about how he's able to just talk you guys through, hey, like, we did this. This is where our next step is going to be. Hey, we did this. This is where our next move is going to be. This is what the setup's going to be. And I'm not going to lie, I'm glad I don't have to be on the double Umacorns right now playing you guys, because you guys look like a completely different animal with this guy in the lineup.
yeah, yeah. So actually, we didn't have a full team the first week, so we were looking for someone to fill in the gaps, and that's actually my brother. So I texted him.
Oh
I'm
wow.
like, hey man, you want to? I didn't know how well we'd work together as a team. Didn't know what the chemistry would be like, but I'm like, hey, we need a fifth. You want to jump in? And he's like, yeah, sure, I'll jump in. And I mean, I guess the rest is history. He fit in incredibly well with our team. He definitely the shot caller of our team. Him and Get Me Out. I like, if you want to say there's a captain of the team, I'd say it's them, and it's not either one or the other, because I mean their map awareness, objective control, they got that synchronization down, and we just follow their lead, and it all works out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like it's paying off. You guys just looking like an absolute force, and definitely what I wanted to see from you guys going into this matchup tomorrow. because, just with the level you guys are playing at and the level that you've shown today, as well as, the versatility, especially showing from Get Me Out, with how many bands he's drawing, you guys might be able to get that Galio in a couple of round ones going forward.
Hey, I'd like to see it.
No one talks about that nutty Orn play. Dick Long, I
Oh, man.
apologize. 2 solo kills on that Orn in a lane he had no business getting solo kills on. Absolutely smurfed it up. Maybe we'll have to hear from Dick Long in an interview in the future, because my man, I feel like he's got a lot. He's ready to speak on the desk.
Oh, absolutely. He's kind of the silent killer of the team. We put him top lane. He does his business, but I mean, this game he just decided to become just the thickest boy around and dominate his lane. So it was nice to have a tank other than the Galio that could just frontline the entire team and wall them, especially with how engage heavy their team was with that Foley Bear and Leona. So, and
Right.
Scion, of course.
Yeah, and just last thing real quick, that Volibear pick, you guys did such an amazing job being able to cancel him out of the game. This is something that even, we did see a good play in a 4-man dive to the bot side. He was able to disable the tower. They were able to pick up a double kill off the back of that. But for the most part, you guys reduced his Volibear to that play. There were some plays made in the mid lane, but Frost Unbreakable, relatively known to be just a force in this league. You guys are just doing such an amazing job of tracking him and just being able to really keep him down, and without giving too much of the strategy, what is it like preparing for a jungler like that, to where like, hey, this guy's going to be invading every chance he gets, this guy's going to be pushing the issue every chance he gets, because it looks really easy when you guys have a 9,000 gold lead, but you had to start somewhere to get to that point.
Yeah, for sure. I honestly would credit keeping Volibear under control to our ADC. He was keeping those, whatever the Ashe vision ability is, he was keeping him. We knew where he was at all times. It was really easy to play around. Other than that first gank, that was pretty bad. But from there on, we were able to really lock him down, know where he was at all times, then just communicate within the team, because that was definitely the big threat we were looking at. Try to pick up fights where he wasn't present, and then eventually we got far enough ahead to where it wasn't such a big threat because we could just blow him up.
Yeah, and you guys just did amazing. And Gam, unless you had another question for him.
Oh man, I don't have any questions. I just want to say, the thing that impresses me most about your guys' team is just you seem to each know what your identity is within the team, and I think that's really what sets you guys apart from everyone else in the league. And I cannot tell you how excited I am for the rematch tomorrow between Uncle and the Ness. Are you gonna be able to sleep tonight, man? Because that's gonna be a banger of a game.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to it. Been looking forward to it all week. So yeah, we're probably gonna just get some practice in tonight, mess around with our comps, and get some good sleep tonight and be ready for tomorrow.
Awesome. Yeah. No, it's always really fun watching you guys play. So
thank you.
All right, thank you, Black Wandale, and I'll let you go, and we will get going to our game 2, as it looks like we were able to solve the missing ADC issue. But thanks again for coming out, man. Just really impressive play on this Galio today, and looking forward to you guys playing tomorrow.
Yeah, of course. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Have a good night, man.
My pleasure.
I'll see you guys.